Say, can we acknowledge ourselves for being so damn cute? We'll always have companionship as long as we don't talk too much. Must be cute enough, you know what I'm saying? Certain pupils have been assigned to each of God's teachers, and those pupils will begin to look for God's teachers as soon as God's teacher has answered the call. The students were chosen for the teacher because the form of the universal curriculum that the teacher will teach is best for the students in view of their level of understanding. So the way the teacher teaches is going to be the best way for that teacher to teach for the people that are going to be sent to that teacher. And then it says that the students or pupils have been waiting for the teacher because the teacher's coming is certain. Again, it's only a matter of time. Once the teacher has chosen to fulfill his or her role, then the students are ready to fulfill theirs. Time waits on the teacher's choice, but not on whom the teacher will serve. When the teacher is ready to learn, when the teacher is ready to learn, when the teacher is ready to learn, the opportunities to teach will be provided for the teacher. So when you're ready to learn, then the opportunities to teach will be provided for you. Like when people say they want a relationship, I always think about, well, when you're ready to really learn, the opportunity to teach will be provided to you. And I love it when he says that the people that are chosen for me, for example, the way that I do it is best for them in view of their level of understanding. So the people that come, like every week, I never know who's going to show up. Anybody that's been here long enough knows that the only thing that's predictable about my classes is that they're unpredictable. And that's perfect, because if Spirit is sending people, then it would make sense that different people would come each week. So we know that the people who are here today were sent here today, which means whatever's going to be said was something we were supposed to hear. And the way that I do it is the way that you are supposed to receive it. Is that what it's telling us? Yes. That's cool. So when someone's sent to you by Spirit, the way you are will be perfect for them already. They will not be coming to you trying to change you. The divine person for you to learn with and have a holy relationship with, a healing with, I'll repeat, they will not be trying to change you. The way you already are will be exactly what they need and exactly what they want. So I always like to start off sometimes using a few of the workbook lessons. So the way that I do it is the way that you need it done. Is that what it's basically saying? Okay, I just want to make sure. All I want to do is run with you. Love is me, love is you. All I want to do is rock with you. Shout it out, tell your friends too. Love is me, love is you. This is what we want to do. So remember this. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. 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 We got to carry on. We got to carry on. Carry on. We got to carry. Guess what? All I want to do is rock with you. Shout it out and tell your friends too. Love is me, love is you. This is what we want to do. All I want to do is rock with you. Shout it out, tell your friends too. Say what? Love is me, love is you. What? This is what we want to do. Oh yeah. Let me tell you, forgiveness offers everything I want. 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 Forgiveness offers everything you 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 got to carry on. We got to carry on. Say it to somebody. All I want to do is rock with you. Shout it out and tell your friends too. is rock with you. Shout it out, tell your friends too. Love is me, love is you. This is what we want to do. All I want to do is rock with you. Shout it out, tell your friends too. Love is me, love is you. This is what we want to do. All I want to do is rock with you. Shout it out, tell your friends too. Love is me, love is you. This is what we want to do. Could you acknowledge yourself for being alive? Yes. Yes. Lord have mercy. Oh, I'm so glad I'm the best teacher for you right now in this moment. Because this is damn sure the way it would be. So it just works out best for everybody. Because one of the rules I've made up for myself is that I ain't waiting for nobody else.
Yeah,
hallelujah. You don't have to wait for anybody else either. You can be yourself now. You can enjoy yourself now. You can let yourself be who you are now. You can enjoy yourself now. The Course in Miracles says happiness is a decision. 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 It's not because something's going to happen on the outside before I can be happy. It's not based on anybody else being any other way or anything outside of myself being any other way. You'll be happy when you decide to be. You will be happy when you decide to be. You will be happy when you decide to be, which means you can be as sad as long as you want to be. You can be as sad as long as you want to be. I'm going to honor you by letting you be as sad as you want to be. You can be sad as you want to be as long as you want to be sad, because happiness is a decision. It is not based on if someone else spoke or acted differently. If I was in another place, if I was in another circumstance, then I'd be happy. It's a decision. Happiness is a decision. Happiness is a decision. So whatever you're feeling right now, however you're feeling right now, is a decision. The kind of relationships that you have in your life right now are a decision. They're decisions. They're choices. You gave him your cell phone number. I bet you gave him the number. Whoever it is, you gave him the number. You said, call me. And they did. You are responsible for the relationships you have. You are responsible for the relationships you keep. Oh. So I'm going to cover up a section today that's the challenging section. And it's in the teacher's manual. It's called How Do God's Teachers Deal with Magic Thoughts? How do God's teachers deal with magic? And you know I'm going to give you the modern language interpretation of what the Course is saying, because it's only talking about love and fear. Okay, so I'm going to go through the paragraph, and then I'm going to tell you what it's saying, and then I'm going to say it, and I'm going to tell you what I said.
What page?
It's on page 44 in the teacher's manual, in the Foundation for Inner Peace version. If you get a chance, get the original version of the Course in Miracles that's more unedited. There's a more unedited version than the version that most people have. There's a lot of information in it that's really helps in the study of it. So if you're going to be a teacher of God or a teacher of love, if you're going to demonstrate love, it says, how do you deal with your ego? A magic thought is an ego thought. How do you deal with your fear thoughts? How do you deal with your ego thoughts? How do you deal with your ego thoughts? How do you deal with your thoughts of separation, anger, fear, anxiety? How do you deal with your magic thoughts? A magic thought is any thought that you have that's telling you that you're the one that's doing anything. And the magic thought is any thought that you're doing something on your own. A magic thought is believing that anything other than God is the source of everything for you. So based on that, there are a ton of David Copperfields in this room. Magicians abound. Because I know people who are absolutely convinced that it's money taking care of them, who they know taking care of them, where they work that's taking care of them, that everything, that they are taking care of them. That's the best magic thought of all. And since you don't have to believe this, I'm not going to hold back on anything that I say. So this is, and also look at it, and also apply this to your relationships. Because anybody that you're in a relationship with at any level is your pupil and your teacher. So when I say this is a crucial question for the teacher and pupil, you could just as easily say this is a crucial question for a parent and their child. This is a crucial question for you and your partner. This is a crucial question for anybody you're in a relationship with. And it says, if this issue is mishandled, like how to deal with your ego, that's what the magic thought is, your fear, your thoughts. He says, then you're going to hurt yourself, and you also attack the other person. And this strengthens the fear of both of you. So when you're mishandling your relationships, you can tell because you feel fear. That makes the magic seem quite real for both of you. So when you mishandle how you relate to a person, it makes the ego quite real to both of you. The separation quite real to both of you. The problem quite real to both of you. So how to deal with your ego, how to deal with magic. Why does it, I love that magic, which means it's something that looks like it's happening, but it's really not happening. That's what magic is. It's something that it looks like going on, but it's not really going on. So the Course says how to deal with magic becomes a major lesson for you, the teacher of love, to learn. So how to deal with the ego is a major lesson for you to learn. How to deal with the ego is a major lesson for you to learn. How to deal with your own anger and upset and misperception is a major lesson for us to learn. Your first responsibility is not to attack it. So your first responsibility is not to attack someone else's ego, someone else's misperception, someone else's beliefs, someone else's thoughts that are not reflecting the truth. If a magic thought or an ego thought or a false thought or a fearful thought or an angry thought arouses anger in any form, if your ego arouses anger in any form, if you get angry at the ego, if you get angry and upset because you're depressed, if you get angry and upset about the thoughts you have about yourself, whether they're positive or negative, if you get upset about it, the Course says you're strengthening your belief in sin, and sin really means you're strengthening your belief in the idea that what you are going through cannot change. That's the Course in Miracles definition of sin. It's something that you believe that you've done that can't be healed. That's what makes it be a sin. Because you are saying you can do something that's more powerful than the laws of God to correct. So then you're condemning yourself. Because if you believe that you're in any situation that cannot be changed for the better, it's you condemning yourself. Because you're the one that's making the decision that the situation can't change. All right, boys and girls. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we can come up with here. I found out last night it has a new spiritual name. It's not Soul Brother. I'm Soul Butter. Does that fit? Soul Butter. I try to spread myself as thin as possible. Happiness is a decision, and I've made that decision right now. I feel grateful for you right now. I feel blessed to have you in front of my face right now. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. Are you happy to see each other? Are you happy to see each other? Or are you so deep in your self-absorption about your own magic thought that you don't even realize you're in a peaceful place and you're not in Nepal? So whatever that is you're concerned about, it ain't nothing. Especially if it's about how somebody else is acting. I would like to break something to all of y'all. Nobody's going to act your script out all the time. No one, ever, 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 ever are going to act out your script for them all the time. And the deeper you believe someone else changing will make you happy, the more you're guaranteeing they will not change. Did you know that? The universe is not going to help you deceive yourself. And to deceive yourself is to believe that your happiness is dependent on someone else's behavior. So every time you ask for somebody to change so you can be happy, this universe is not going to respond. Because it doesn't respond to a lie. It doesn't teach us what's not true. And it is not true that any of your joy is caused by anyone else. I am not causing you a joy. Even if you're laughing at what I'm saying, you are. Because some people laugh and some people look sad. Right? Which means it has nothing to do with me. Somebody's deciding to feel joyful, somebody's deciding to not to feel joyful. So since I see that my behavior has nothing to do with anybody's happiness, a lot of my guilt's gone. Because a lot of my guilt came from believing something I did made somebody unhappy. Just do it again. It is their fault, damn it! It's a part of me that believes that sometimes. I had something happen. I just gotta tell y'all. Can I talk to y'all for a minute? I'm doing it anyway. I went to the movie the other night. I had the most unusual thing happen. I've been having this really interesting experience where everything that I've ever studied is now manifesting as true in my life. You know, in a way that unless you were walking around in my skin, you wouldn't recognize it because it's totally subjective. And so I've been seeing and experiencing total strangers being as loving to me as anybody else that I think I know. Not it used to be, well, I'm gonna see a little bit of sanity if I'm around the truth people. But then if I'm not around the truth people, then I'm gonna be out there with them. You know how they are. So as I applied the truth more to myself, which means I freed others around me from my scripts for them, because I realized that somebody betraying me only means that they're not acting out the role I assigned to them for what my life was meant to be, for my happiness. And then when I got mine taken care of, maybe I think about theirs. But I always wanted relationships for what they were going to bring me. I was much more concerned about my joy or lack of joy in the relationship than theirs. So if I said I wanted a relationship, I didn't go, I want a relationship so that I can bring joy to this person. I would go, I want a relationship because there's this thing I think I could experience. There's this fantasy I'd like to have acted out. So it was really about me. I know y'all looking at me like that's an inconceivable concept because you never do it, but I'm confessing to y'all today. I actually have selfish thoughts. So I want to ask you all's forgiveness because I know you don't. After all, I'm the student and you're the teachers. I'm so spiritually retarded, I need 40 people to help me out. Y'all just need me. Who's the most advanced? So I went to the movie and everything went very smoothly. I went to see the the most spiritually evolving movie that I could find. Avengers: The Age of Ultron. That's right. And so anyway, everything was smooth. I thought it would be so. That was the first night. When I was a kid, I used to love to go to movies by myself. I just go to the movie and just stay there, just stay there all day and fantasize. And so I get some of my best insights. So anyway, but I've been noticing everything's been going kind of really extra smooth. And so, you know, I thought I would maybe get a ticket at the last minute. I was. Then I went in real quickly and got in line, and it was waiting for people to go in because it was so loud. And I ended up going inside, and there was a seat that had a reserve sign on it. Somebody was trying to reserve seats, and then they said, "You want this seat?" Yeah. And it was right center on the stage. It was center on the screen. I'm looking at the screen. To embellish this a little bit, to get you to make another point, on each side of me, there was a guy, a being in a black body that was sitting there. That's the way I see it. Beings in black bodies, or beings in white bodies, or beings in female bodies, or whatever. So he sat next to me. Then there were two other beings in black bodies, two black guys, an older guy and his son. His son's about 30-something. They were sitting next to me. Then on the other side of them was a young female in a white female body. And then on the other side, her, who she was with. So I'm sitting next to him, and then the two guys next to me said, they was talking among themselves. They said, "Boy, I sure would like a hot dog right now. That'd be great," because it was like packed. So the young white woman said, "Well, I'm going to the concession stand. I'll be glad to get you all some hot dogs." Wow. So they said, they was getting ready to reach into their pocket. She said, "No, I'm going to buy y'all some hot dogs." So she got up and she went to the concession stand, and she came back with drinks and hot dogs for these two strangers she'd never seen before, who happened to mention they might like to have a hot dog. So I'm like looking at this, and the black guy looks at me and he goes, "This is going to go down in the history of ever going to a movie in my whole life." He was like freaked out, because I was freaked out. You know, I was like, "My God, I'm in another world." Y'all know that's another world. You looking for Walking on Water. It's white women buying black dudes hot dogs in the movie. So you know when you're in another reality. And they was freaked out. I was freaked out. And then I was just sitting up there, and I was like, "God," and then I said, "Man, it is a good looking hot dog." You know, I was sitting there, but I couldn't. I said, Spirit is showing me that it says when I change my mind, then I'll start to see a change in the world around me. And I've been working on this for a long time, 40 years. You don't have to take 40 years, because I did the 40 years for you. Thank you. Which means all you have to do is listen to the result of my experiences, use them, and then you don't have to take 40 years. Does that make sense? That's really the way it works. You know, auto mechanic that's learned how to fix transmissions, I don't have to learn how to fix transmissions if I believe he said I need 2 quarts of transmission fluid. If I just go and do that, then my transmission will run as good as the transmission of a mechanic. But the course of love teaches, and I love this, says our ego is so intense. It says that we don't want to receive wisdom that we didn't come up with. So even though we could get answers to everything that would solve our problems, it says we won't listen to it because we didn't think it up. So even though I might say something to you that could be really helpful to you, you would be tempted not to pay any attention to me because you didn't think it up. Right? So I'm like looking at this, and I'm like going, "Oh, this is happening." Because I've been doing this thing of completely freeing everyone in my life from scripts as much as I can of anything they have to do to make me happy, and freeing them to do whatever they want to do with their bodies. Because that's the way I know I'm making the freedom real. Other than that, I'm just talking. So for me, I qualified. You are you. You have a body. You can do what you want to with you. Which is kind of funny. When I say that, probably what might come up in some of your minds is that, well, you know, I'm already free. You can't really free me, you know, but that's the way we do it. That's the way we approach our relationships, as if we can give people freedom. They are free when I say they're free. It's okay for them to be who they are if I say it's okay. So I've been just letting it go, going, my only rule is I'm going to see who you are and what you want and ask myself, is it something I can support? But I'm not going to try to control anyone. So the more I freed everybody around me, and then people who wanted to imprison me wouldn't want to be in relationship with me because they couldn't be in a relationship with somebody they couldn't control, and no one can control me.
That's for sure.
Not even me. That's the problem. But certainly I'm not gonna, I used to hire people as what I call my relationships to control me because I was afraid of me. So I created external jailers that I call lovers that would then want to have a lot to say about what I did with me because I was afraid of my freedom. So back to the hot dogs. So I stood up there and I'm going, I was kind of like, it made me woozy. Do you understand? I've been going to the movies for more than a half century. I've never been in a movie where I saw anybody buy anything for a total stranger that they never met before, especially as much as concession food costs. You know what I'm saying? It's not just regular buying somebody. That's a $20 hot dog, you know what I'm saying? So then I'm sitting there thinking, boy, it'd be great. Then so I looked at her and I saw her and I went, I sure would like a hot dog too. I just, that'd be good. She just cracked me. She said, you should have said something when I was getting ready to go up to the concession stand. I would have got you one too. And then I said, who are you?
Yeah, right.
But I asked her, I said, who are you? She just cracked up. She just laughed. So I'm sitting there, and the next thing I know, the guy that's sitting, the black guy that's sitting next to me, I noticed he was gone. And then he came back with 2 hot dogs. He handed me a hot dog, and he handed the guy sitting over next to me a hot dog with the condiments. And he said, she so inspired me that I just had to do the same thing. You know, I heard the Twilight Zone music and everything. That tripped me. Don't you think that's a trip?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a great example of what we are teaching? They didn't say they knew nothing about the Course in Miracles. That was me, my reality coming from the change of mind that I'm giving myself through listening to the truth and listening to God. And it had nothing to do with anybody else, but it inspired me even more. So I thought I'd share that with you. That was incredible. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. You know, and so that changed me. That made everything that I was studying even truer to me. That's one of the reasons why I'm standing up here the way I'm standing up here right now. It's because I'm learning through rewards, which is what the Course in Miracles says happens when you actually stop wanting to suffer as the way to grow. No pain, no gain should be sent to Spain or somewhere else. No pain, no gain. Get rid of that idea. When you say no pain, no gain, and so therefore you believe you need to struggle in order to grow, you are ordering struggle for yourself. So if you're one of these people who don't believe you should have it easy, stop complaining about having it hard. Because you're getting it just the way you are telling yourself that you deserve to have it. So if you think you have to earn and pay to have to have abundance, then you are of the old thought system, and that's why you struggle. And you can do it this is the trip. You can do it as long as you want, and nothing will try to stop you. So that's the trick, though. You can keep doing it the way you're doing it as long as you want to, and nothing will interfere with it, because that's the prime directive. Like those Star Trek fans out there, you know what I'm talking about. Don't mess with the people of these other civilizations when you land on their planet. Let them be. And that's where I am with everybody around me now. I practice the prime directive. Most of the people in my life would never know I taught any kind of new thought, metaphysics, anything. Because if someone needs anything that has to come through me, Spirit will make it totally obvious. So if you change your mind about your world will change. If you try to change your world won't change. If you try to change somebody, they won't change. If you change your perception of someone, it will look like they've changed. But the only thing that's changed is you. The loving person was always there. You just were not calling on them through your judgment. Each person is like a radio receiver where you have many stations on the radio. It's capable of playing rhythm and blues, jazz, rock, or metal. The same CD player. You decide what music you hear. You don't blame the CD player for playing Metallica when you wanted James Brown. You stop blaming the people in your life for giving you what you're going through when you are the one that's plugging into the station by your thinking. Your thinking is the tuner that tunes into the station that the person expresses for you. So I'm a multi-dimensional station. There are some people that tune into me and they like the stations that they tune into, and there are some people that tune into me and they don't like the stations that they tune into. But I'm not going to change the radio. The radio is cool. You are too. Do you feel me?
Yes.
Okay, all right. No one can make you happy. They can join you in happiness. And they can't wait to do that when you are that. That was the best damn hot dog I'd ever had in my life. Because it was a hot dog that came from God. It was a hot dog that came from brothers and sisters joining. It was a hot dog that came from love.
Yeah.
And that was a trip. Everybody was in the movie just talking to each other and reaching over the seat, giving each other popcorn and raising. I'm in a.
What movie theater was it? I need to go.
Well, what I noticed was it was starting to happen everywhere I went. It wasn't about the place I was. It was about who I am and who I'm being. But what's tripping me out is that it's just a decision. I decided to be a kind person. I decided to be a more loving person. I decided to take more responsibility for my experience. I decided to free people. I decided I only wanted holy relationships that weren't based on bargains and scripts and limiting each other. And I just decided I changed my mind, which changed everything. And I have to forgive myself for taking so long to do something so simple that would give me everything I wanted. And then I'm watching parts of myself still doing it called other people. And what they're doing is they're using their mind. Most people are using their mind to come up with everything that needs to change other than their mind. In other words, people are using their minds to think of how they can change their mother, their father, their sister, their brother, their boss, their co-workers. They're using their mind to think of how they can change the world, other people, other races, and the government. But listen to and see how many of you here saying, I'm using my mind to change my mind. They're using their mind to figure out what the other person needs to do, because our face of innocence tells us that we are just perfect and everybody else is the problem. You know what I'm saying? Are you with me now?
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't hear anything else for the rest of this talk, hear this. You've got to let go on the spiritual path the thought, if this were different, I would be saved, I would be happy, I would have peace. That's not saying it's not okay for you to make whatever changes you think you need to make in your life. But you will at some point on your spiritual path realize that there's only one idea that's behind your unhappiness. And that is, if this were different, I would be happy. If you were different, I would be happy. If they were different, I would be happy. If my money situation were different, I would be happy. If my body looked different, I would be happy. But it is true, if I got that hot dog, I would be happy. That is the one exception to the laws of God. So it's okay if you don't accept it today. But a conscious being will not wait around for you to accept it. A conscious being will apply the truth to themselves and be willing to join with you when you're ready to change your mind. But they're not going to sit and wait and try to change you or get you to change. But why? Because there's someone always who will love you where you are, how you are, right now. Always. While you dealing with some joker, a person, or situation that doesn't want to change because they're teaching you that your happiness doesn't come from them changing, so they become even more stubborn because they're loving you enough to say, no. If you keep telling yourself that your happiness is dependent on Earl doing it differently, keep telling yourself your happiness is dependent on Earl doing it differently, and Earl's going to keep on teaching you that your happiness doesn't come from Earl doing it differently because Earl loves you too much to fabricate, to promote, to keep that erroneous idea going because I want you to be happy. So I'm going to be me, authentically, so that you can finally get to the point you'll be you authentically, so you can have people who love you authentically. Well, just a second. So, happiness is simple, but it's not easy until you decide that you're going to apply what you're hearing in these classes, in these books, to your life. That you're not going to sit in here and listen to me talk or go to workshops or study on your own, then walk out of this door and then talk just like everybody else does that's never practiced or studied anything, and then think you're going to get a different result. You can't say, I'm the creator of my experience, and then walk out the door and say, things are tough for women. As soon as you do that, you're not in the truth thought system, so you're not going to get the truth result. Notice I said, beings in black bodies that sat beside me, a being in a white body that sat beside me. This was me. I'm not talking like an average person would talk to myself. I'm using what this says in my description of what's going on. You're right with me on this? Yeah. So how do you know what to tell yourself if you do not study? Well, if you don't, you're going to make up what to tell yourself. And you will be wrong. Because you already are experiencing the results of what you're telling yourself. That's why you're not happy. So you need help. Help that knows more than you do. It's available, but you don't hear your guidance because it cannot be any louder than your willingness to hear it. So God's voice is no louder than your willingness to hear it, and your willingness to hear it is based on the idea, I don't know what anything is for. I do not know my own best interest in this situation. So, Chris, what was it you wanted to ask, brother?
Yeah, can you repeat what you said? There is always someone who will love you where you're at.
Yes, that's like what there's several places in the course that it says God meets you where you are, love meets you where you are. I'm not one of these people that can quote sections and stuff. You know, I just use search for that. Really. I know people go, paragraph 2, line 3, blah, 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 but they can't hug you. It's the weirdest thing. I go to so many different things, and I see so many parts of myself sometimes called teachers who are excellent at intellectually sharing the Course in Miracles. Can quote and outquote me, even though I've been stuck, but they can't greet you. They can't hug you. They can't smile at you. I would rather have the heart connection than the intellectual connection. People will do things for you and be kind to you because they love you, even if they don't understand a darn thing you're saying or anything you believe. And you can meet people who seem like they believe what you believe, they can't love you or care about you. I'd rather go with letting the heart lead the mind than the mind leading the heart. I'd much rather be in the presence of someone who loves me than someone who's trying to understand me.
Don't worry, we don't understand you anyway.
Right.
We do love you.
Thank God, because if you don't understand me, then you can't
Just
judge me.
kidding.
No, but I'm saying that's a good point. If you don't understand something, you can't judge it. Like if I do astrology as a way of receiving information, right? So for those of you who don't know about astrology, if I say to you, your Uranus is square my Venus,
Right.
you wouldn't know how to respond to that. You couldn't judge it as good or bad. Why? Because you don't understand it. So you only judge people you believe you understand. And you know your judgment is wrong when you're not joyful with them or about them. It could be that simple. I'm angry, I must not be seeing correctly. End of story. I'm upset, so I must not be seeing correctly. I'm sad and hurting, so my perception must be wrong. What does that mean? It doesn't mean the person maybe didn't do physically what you think they did. It means you're looking at it wrong because you are making yourself feel bad about it, and you are attacking yourself consequently. That's what makes it wrong. Is everybody clear on that? You know, yes, a person could rob a bank, and that could actually seem like that was what happened. But if you're angry about it, you are wrong. It means your perception is wrong because you're looking at it in such a way that you're losing your peace. And if you're losing your peace, your interpretation of the situation is wrong. And I love the word wrong. I know you thought people don't like the word wrong. There ain't nothing wrong. Everything is right. There ain't nothing wrong. You know, yes it is. Yes it is. In terms of your goal, something can be wrong. Your goal is to come to church and you end up on 16th Street. What mall? That was a wrong move. Right? So wrong isn't bad. Right? So what I'm saying is it's easier and more simpler than you're making it. Okay? Yes.
So when you were saying that like nothing outside affects us, it's our perception of what seems to be happening that determines the way we see things.
Mm-hmm.
What if like someone makes a mistake with someone else and the other person seems to get hurt as a result of that? Then is that just the way the other person is looking at it?
It is the way the other person is looking at it. You can't hurt anyone. If you did not physically attack someone, you can't hurt them. You can think the worst thoughts in the world about me sitting up there right now, Chris. I will not feel them. I have to give what you say to me a meaning that hurts me. So my hurt is coming from me, not from you. So next time you say somebody's hurting you and they haven't touched you, it's not true. You are hurting you because you have another way you could look at it and you're not using it. So it's you hurting you. Now does that mean that I would be callous? No. Why? Because I want to give what I want to receive. See, if you, but I tell you, doing unto others as you would have others do unto you is a bum lesson. Yeah. Unless you love yourself. If you don't love yourself and you got that rule of do unto others as you would have others, why do you think people murder, attack? Because they don't believe they deserve to live. They call it, sometimes in the police department, they call it, a suicide by cop. Where the people purposely do something that they know is going to get them shot by the cop. You know why? Because they want to die. So they'll do something to get shot. So people who are constantly being hurt are people who believe they deserve to be hurt, but they don't necessarily know that. So people who hurt themselves the most are usually people who don't know they hate themselves. They usually think somebody else does. Somebody else doesn't like them. Somebody else doesn't love them. And so when you're with a person who does not love themselves, the greatest thing you can do for them is not join them in their suffering. You stay as happy as you can to show them that there's an alternative to the way they're choosing to be. And you're the proof of it because you're cool. You don't join. Empathy is not joining someone in their suffering. If I'm your friend, then I'm going to feel bad because you're feeling bad. If I'm your friend, I'm going to have compassion about how you're feeling, but I'm going to also show you the alternative that you could be choosing through my action. So, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. So he says, if you have an ego thought, and it arouses anger in any form, you can be sure that you're strengthening your own belief in it. And that means you've asked for depression, you've asked for pain, you've asked for fear, and you've asked for disaster to come to you. So if I can be in the world and not allow myself to get upset about everything that's happening in the world, then I'm not calling the things in the world that cause pain to come to me. Say that again. If you can be in the world and not allowing yourself to get caught up in everything that's going on in the world, you won't cause the pain in the world to come to you. But if you are getting upset about everything that's happening, you are calling it to you because you are making it real for you. Now, does that explain your childhood, your adulthood, and everything else that you're upset about right now? What I mean by not making it real, what I mean is you are not willing to accept it. It means you are judging it. It means that you're not seeing it as a call for love. If you saw it as a call for love, you'd be calling love to you. If you see it as something that you're getting angry and upset about, then it means you're giving a lot of power and reality to it. And you are a creator who creates through your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions. So when you make it real to you, you create it for you and you perceive it and you call it to you. That's the truth, whether we believe it or not, whether we want to accept. Now, you can keep on doing it. You can say, hey, I'm still going to get upset about everything that's going on. That's your right because you're free, and love always frees you. So you're free to believe what you want to believe as long as you want to believe it. But always ask yourself, what is it that I must be thinking to be having the experience that I'm having? What is it I must be thinking to have the financial situation I'm having? What is it I must be thinking to have the love life that I'm having? What is it I must be thinking to have the career that I have? Because everything that you are experiencing is coming from your thoughts consciously and subconsciously. So to get in touch with all your thoughts, all you have to do is look at your personal world. It is the reflection of all of your thoughts. So you don't have any hidden thoughts. Your thoughts are your perceptions. And everybody in your life is a representation of a thought in your mind. So then as you look out through your eyes today, you will see your thoughts of fear, you will see your thoughts of hot dogs. And what did I say? Thank you, 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 thank you. I appreciate that. Wow, that's awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. My part, when I received the hot dog, was to have gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude. Whenever you get upset about anything, whenever anything's bothering you, substitute a thought of gratitude for that thought and watch the situation transform. Simple, simple. I'm mad. I'm grateful that I'm having this opportunity to find out about something that's going on inside me right now that I need to take a look at so that I can give it up to my higher power to give me another way to look at it. Thank you for making me aware of something in me that I didn't know was there. And that's why I feel depressed right now. I'm getting upset about getting upset. I'm judging my own feelings. I haven't learned yet that it's okay for me to have all of my feelings. All of my feelings. So I don't have to pretend that I'm happy when I'm not. I'm not asking you to pretend that you're happy when you're not. I'm asking you from this to make a decision for your happiness. Set the goal of your happiness, because the Course in Miracles teaches that a goal, check this out, creates the circumstances that allow the goal to manifest. The goal does. See, most people are focusing on how can I achieve the goal and not focused on the goal at all times. The how is none of our business. You'll never know the how. The how never happens in the way that you totally predict, ever. You know that's true from your own life experience. You may have gotten it, but it didn't happen exactly how you thought it would. So it's kind of ridiculous that we still keep focusing on how, but not focusing on what. What do you want? It's all you need to focus on. What do you want? Stay clear about it, and it will create the situation that you want. So what does that mean in practical terms? The next time you're upset about anything, just understand you don't have to get upset about getting upset. It's just a thought. It's just a call for love. It's just a misperception. Big freaking deal. It's not like it's the first time. Isn't it amazing that we still react like we do to upsets? And we've been doing it all our lives, and we used to go, oh, but this is the real one. All the rest of them, that wasn't the real. This one is the one. You've been being upset about one thing or another since you've been here. You've been telling yourself if something was different, you'd be happy since you was a kid. I needed to have a train set. And if I had a train set, God was good. Then I got the train set, then I wanted a bicycle. You know what I'm saying? There's never enough for us externally. And never when we get the external thing are we completely satisfied with it. That's how we know none of our desires are coming from our true self. A desire that's coming from your true self will satisfy you and just increase and expand. A desire that's coming from your ego never satisfies you when you get it. So the relationship you're not satisfied with isn't the relationship that's true for you anyway, so stop sweating it. And I'm only telling you this because you've already changed your mind and you've already decided to be happy. And it's on the way, and even here, but unless we prepare ourselves, thank you, Holy Spirit, unless we prepare ourselves when it shows up, you'll screw it up. Because you'll take that old mind of yours and have this beautiful new thing in front of your face and not even see it, or you'll sabotage it. And I don't want you to do that, because I wouldn't be saying this to you if you had not already decided to hear it. Because this is an effect, not a cause. By the time it's physical, you've already thought it. So for you to hear me telling you you're innocent, you deserve to have it, you can have people in your life that love you the way you are and support you as who you are, you believe it, it's going to show up. And all I want you to do is love yourself enough to embrace it and allow it, because now you're going to a level that's about allowing, not making, doing, or getting. Thank you for listening to this with me, Holy Spirit. Thank you for being willing to listen to Soul Butter. So I'm going to do a quick recap before we go out into the lab. All right, let's do the financial expression of appreciation. Thank you for sharing with me. I do this full time in the world, and you are the channel. And so you are awesome for sharing. All that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. Those of you online watching, thank you for all the incredible communications that I've been receiving. And if you want to make a financial expression of appreciation, you can do it at earlpurdy.com. And I'm available for one-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions, where I deal with your personal issues. And we can see ways to get past it if you choose. So go to my website, it explains everything about what I do. Don't forget that on Tuesday nights we are having the way of mastery. When you learn how to actually even more apply what we're doing. Application is what time it is. It's time for application. You've already done a lot of education. It is time for the application. You have done a lot of education. It's time for the application. It's time for the application. It's time for the application now. So when you leave out of here today, if you can learn how to not get upset with yourself about getting upset. Stop getting angry with yourself about getting angry. Now you're getting it. So what do? You feel the feeling just as it is. You feel it. You don't pretend you don't feel it. Then you tell yourself, in your mind, you go, let me take this to the greatest extreme that I can take it. How, in my mind, what is the worst that could happen? Feel it all. Don't repress it. Because if you repress it, you're keeping it. If you feel it, you're releasing it. Next thing you do is you tell yourself, I'm giving this all the meaning that it has for me. Claim your power. I'm giving this all the meaning that it has for me. Feel it? I'm giving it all the meaning that it has for me. See, you claiming your power. Even if I don't like it, I'm giving it all the meaning that it has for me. Then what's step 3? You thank your Creator for His gifts to you. You gratitude. I'm thankful I have the power to give everything the meaning that it has for me. I'm thankful that I create how I see things in my reality. So you go straight to gratitude. Feel it? Feel it? That soul butter come through that butter. And then you feel it and you say, thank you, Lord, and thank you, God, for giving me the power to decide how I'm going to see this. I'm the one that decides how I'm going to see it. That's the 3rd step. And the last step, the last one, and this is a very important one. You remind yourself that no matter what you're thinking, no matter what you're going through, you are still as God created you. You are still as love created you. No matter how you feel about yourself, no matter what you think about yourself, no matter what anybody else thinks about you, you are still as God created you. Got it? I feel it. I chose it. I'm thankful. I'm still loved. I feel it. I chose it. I'm thankful. I'm still loved. I feel it. I chose it. I'm thankful. I'm still loved. That's the truth about you. Is that right? You feel it. You choose it. You're thankful. You are loved. You feel it. You feel it. You feel it. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm making myself so mad. That's where I say it now. If I'm upset, I go, I'm making myself upset. Somebody does something crazy, I go, you intergalactic call for God. I don't know. That's just a call for love. Feel your feelings. Put that emotion behind it. All your feelings are innocent. All your feelings are innocent. All of them. You're just feeling love or a call for love. You're sad right now. That's your call for love. That's your call for God. Don't make it real by getting upset about getting upset. Stop getting upset about getting upset. Just go, this is the way I feel. I'm giving it all the meaning that it has for me. I'm grateful that I have the power to choose. I'm still as God created me. You are innocent. We are innocent. You are innocent. We are innocent. Remember, happiness is a decision. It's a decision. Stop waiting for somebody else to give it to you. You know what happens? As soon as you give it to yourself, then everybody gives it to you. As soon as you give it to yourself, then everybody gives it to you when you give it to yourself. You know when I started to get the most dinner invitations? When I started taking myself out to dinner? You know when I had the best love making? When I made love to myself? When I loved Earl, everybody started loving Earl. When I started giving myself a massage, I got offered massage. When I took myself on trips, I got offered trips. When I hugged myself, I get hugged. It's the easiest way to have what you want. It's just give it to yourself first, and you'll have it. This is a reflection. It's going to give you back what you give to yourself. So tell yourself, before we go, tell yourself, now there's going to be an opportunity for you to tell yourself, open the door wide open and go, I am entitled to miracles. I am entitled to miracles. I am entitled. Now I know who heard me, and you're innocent if you don't do it, but if you heard anything I said today, you should be saying this. You don't have to, but don't be full of S-ing yourself. If you can't even say that you think you are entitled to love, how in the world do you think it's going to come to you? Yeah, say, I am entitled to miracles. I am entitled to miracles. I am entitled to miracles. Acknowledge yourself, body companion. Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Way of Mastery. Want to announce your class today?
Course of Love tonight at 6:30.